Hello, everybody. Welcome to Drive Thru. I'm your host, Tony T. We broadcast live here on Pickdog's and Sports Chat Place YouTube channel and throughout social media. We'll get you out here well before the top of the hour. We'll give you guys enough time to get those bets in for the primetime games. And that's what we do here on the Drive Thru Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time as over live free sports picks for the games beginning at 7 p.m. Eastern Time and later. And to deliver those winners are professional handicappers over at Pickdogs and at Sports Chat Place. Let's take a peek who's on the show with us today. All right, Shane Mickle has been on absolute fire. He's with us. Alex Smart's doing great NFL. We got Tony Brown and we got Ninos, and here's how they're going to line up here. Oh, Tony Brown has been put some great numbers. This is how they're going to line up for this evening. We got Smart, Brown, Ninos, Mickle, and then I will close this one out. All right, let's get this one underway. We've got games starting right now, so that gives us 14 games for Major League Baseball in our show hours here, primetime hours. So let's get this one underway. Let's go ahead and welcome in Alex Smart. You'll find him over at Pickdogs Premium with the top unit producer in the NFL. For last year, he's off to a great start in NFL this year. So let's bring Alex in right now. Alex, what's happening?
Hey, Tony. How's everything?
Everything's great. All right, here we go, 7 Eastern Time. We got the Red Sox here eliminated, hosting the Orioles with, well, no, there's hope. You know, there's always, when you have 6 teams in the playoffs, there's always going to be someone that's going to choke down to you. And we're seeing this right now with Seattle. So we got the Red Sox here, minus 125, total of 9.
Yeah, tonight we got one of these matchups, we've got a bottom. It's probably lost a lot of motivation and just maybe going through the motions now. I know they don't like to admit it, but it's a high probability, high possibility situation that they're just going through the motions. We've got a pitching matchup, I think, that favors us. Kyle Bradish, I mean, the kid, they didn't let him go too far here earlier on in the season. And they put him in there and just let him hang around 5 or 6 innings maximum. Now they're letting him stretch out a little bit. And I think the kid's he's a keeper. And also Michael Wacha, why he hasn't pitched all that, but I just don't think he matches well against his Baltimore offense. And it's interesting to note that Baltimore's offense ranks 8th against right-handed pitching since the All-Star break. The other right-hander, Bradish, and Boston only ranked 12th since that period of time. So, and from a defensive standpoint, we'll look at this from a defensive standpoint. Baltimore is a superior defense. I mean, they've ranked in defensive runs saved, which is a plus 40 mark. And I just look at this, when I was looking at the line, I was saying, okay, we've got value with Baltimore. Baltimore's a better defensive team. They got more motivation. This kid, Kyle Bradish, I like him. This is a personal thing here with him. And I just like the way this all lines up, and I think we've got some value here, and we're going to hit it. We're going to hit Baltimore tonight.
All right, we got Alex Smart here on Baltimore here with the plus 105 here against the Red Sox. Of course, Boston, of course, we said eliminated. Walker's the guy that last year, if you remember, he was an opener for the Tampa Bay Rays. We were wondering whether or not he'd hang in Major League Baseball. And here's the one thing here. He did sign a 1-year contract. So, Alex, he is in a 1-year contract. He does have an expiring contract. So he's, I always say with these veterans who are playing expired contracts, these last few starts are huge. He has an ERA of 2.70. If he can close out with 2 good starts, keep his ERA under 3, he's going to make some big bucks. But that ERA goes over 3, could lose a few million. So how do you factor that into the handicapping when you got a guy Walker who's playing for that contract next season?
Well, you're smart when it comes to looking at Major League Baseball situations and contracts and things of that nature. So I'm going to say right off the bat, you're right, and I'm going to agree with you. And it does make as right as we are, and I mean, even if we were looking for $1 million contract or a $5 million contract, whatever it is, it comes down to talent. I mean, he's got the talent to stick with in the Major League Baseball to make a whole bunch of money going forward for the last few years of his career. I don't know, but as it goes for tonight, it's not wash, but I think both pitchers will give us what I think some might expect of them, we'll put it that way, which is a fairly decent outing. But at the same time, Baltimore has the better bullpen when I look at the numbers and the better defense, and they've been hitting right-handed pitchers much better than Boston since the All-Star break. So, and the momentum and everything else, it just seems to me that Baltimore, at least for tonight, is a good bet.
Yeah, and in the Boston lineup, they are playing a lot of veterans. And, of course, the veterans, you always worry about the motivation when you have high expectations and you fall way short here to close out the regular season. You got to wonder what's between the ears for some of these batters. We know Baltimore, a young team, hungry team, They are you could just tell they like watching the way they play, and they're definitely in the hunt because Seattle is coming back down to them. Orioles plus 105 here against the Red Sox. This one to have a start time of 7 Eastern time. All right, Alex, let's take a look over at Pickdog Premium for tonight. Showing great profit here in the NFL to start this young season. 350 units of profit in the NFL. Alex was the top unit producer in the NFL last year over at Pickdog. So tonight, 14-game card here from Major League of Baseball. I know you probably don't touch the NHL preseason, but there's a monster card. But what do you have going over at Pickdog Premium?
Well, I'm looking, just in very quickly. I'm looking at the New York Islanders. I think a lot of people have really discounted them, but really looked at them as a team that, hey, last year they didn't play well, but there was a lot of mitigating factors that made sure they didn't play, including being on the road for the first games of the season. And now this is a veteran-laden, very young, good talent. That's just my little hockey thing I'm going to throw in here for tonight. As far as tonight goes, we got a triple play of Major League Baseball. We've got all kinds of fun for everybody as the week goes on. We're going to roll with some more money. Bankroll expansion's on the way, guys. So join me, and we're gonna make the books pay for taking our action.
That's right, guys. I got with Alex over at Pickdog, but they've been paying for Alex for several decades. So no stopping now. I get on board with Alex over at Pickdog. A 3-pack here from Major League Baseball. 2 money line crushes, a totals banger up there. For, of course, credit guarantee, which means that this package must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credited back in your account. That's what credit guarantee means. So get on board there with the Alex's a 3-pack. Also, the long-term passes, the way Alex has been running, you may want to consider that 1-month all sports pass. Get all of Alex's plays, premium plays over at Pickdogs for 1 month. Would include all his NFL picks as well as his MLB picks. Of course, we're getting about a week left in the remainder of the regular season, but that 1-month pass will take you right to the first 3 rounds, right to the edge of the World Series. And of course, you get all of his college football as well as his NHL, which begins here in just 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, we're starting the season in the NHL, so that's part of it, as well as the NBA. The NBA starts here on what is it? October. Hang on, let me do something here on my computer because it wants to restart, and I don't want to restart now. So I want to make sure this computer doesn't reset on me when we're doing the show. So okay, I just want to make sure I didn't hit reset now because that would have been an absolute disaster. All right, so guys, get on board with Alex right now. And of course, we talked about the 1-month all sports pass. The NHL would be in play. The NBA would be in play as well because the league begins here on October 18th. So you'll have a good 10 days worth of NBA premium picks from Alex on that 1-month all sports pass. You can also add a capper with a 2-for-1 capper promotion there. Or on that 1-month pass, you can use a promo code WIN15 at checkout, and you'll be able to save 15% off. All right, Alex, as always, great having you show. Keep up that great work, and we'll talk with you again in a couple of days.
Thanks, Tony. Take care of your computer, buddy.
We'll see you later. Alex Martin here on the drive through. Let's continue our coverage here, guys. We got more baseball on the way, so let's go off to Las Vegas, Nevada, and let's welcome in Tony Brown. You find him over at Pickdog's Premium. You got to be careful with those Windows updates, man, especially when you're doing a show live where, man, you could get knocked off. It would have been a massive disaster. So I'd be very careful there. So let's bring him in right now, Tony Brown. Tony Brown, what's happening?
What's going on, Tony T? How you doing out there?
Doing great. All right, here we go. At 8 Eastern time, we have the Astros here to host the D-backs. The Astros minus 210, total 8.5.
Yeah, I'm going to look at the total on this one. The Astros pretty much already clinched. The D-backs pretty much eliminated. So I don't know where this game is going to go as far as how they're going to play it. But the total is something that I'm looking at. I've been looking at some of the numbers, and believe it or not, for as big as the Astros lineup is, and they have all these superstars, they have 103 wins. Only the Dodgers have more this season. For as good as they are, they lead the league in unders. Like, they don't put up a lot of runs. They really, truly believe in small ball. They lead the league in unders, and Arizona brings up the top 5 in unders. These guys don't cash the over a lot. Arizona 5th in the league, and Houston's number 1 in cashing the under. And what's even more impressive with that number, Houston's number 1 at cashing the under at home in this building. I don't know whether it's overinflated numbers or just a combination of decent pitching and, some decent at-bats, but at home, Houston has 41 of the unders, and no team has cashed more unders at home. So you just got a combination of teams with really nothing to play for and some decent pitching. We got Garcia on the mound for Houston. He was a late replacement for McCuskers. He got some type of injury. I don't know if he's sick or something. So Arizona wasn't even prepared for him. Arizona lined their lineup full of lefties, which Garcia will have no problem with because they were expecting McCusters, and 9 runs to beat us will be a chore. I think they've only seen the total go over 8 or 9 runs once, both of these teams in the last 6 games. So 9 runs to beat us tonight will be a chore, and we're going to take the under to cash tonight.
All right, Tony Brown on the under here. Diamondbacks and Astros under 8.5. That's a very popular Astros under. People always under. Astros should have been Astros under a lot this season. We'll let you know a little bit more about that. Of course, both teams kind of hitting light right now. Arizona 212 against right-handers. Astros 219. This is over their past 10 games, but believe it or not, the bullpens are in pretty good form. This Arizona team is really weird. It's kind of a yo-yo team with that bullpen, sometimes hot, sometimes cold. Maybe the Dodgers have something to do with it, but anyway, because Dodgers can really put crooked numbers up on your team. But right now, the Diamondbacks bullpen in pretty good form. And just to back up some of the under trends, because I agree with you on this one, Diamondbacks 19-8 to the under against a strong team with a win percentage of .620 or better on the season. Astros 76-47 to the under when they've been a favorite of -110 or higher. So when they've been favored, it's usually because they have a pretty good pitching advantage and their pitchers come through. And of course, that's there you go here with the under in this one. So give me there on under 8.5. And this has been the thing with the Astros, is going under a lot. But when you kind of look at their hitting, they have not hit the ball as well as recent teams.
Right, and when you hear a stat like that, you start thinking immediately of Detroit and, the worst teams in the league, because you can't win if you can't score. But it's just what I think more what it is market correction with the lines, that the odds makers are just setting these numbers too high. They got guys like Verlander on the mound. They got these stud pitchers, and the total still sit around 8 or 9. So whatever the reason's been, the numbers don't lie. The games aren't played on paper, but some stats can't be ignored. These guys cashed the most unders in the league. The Diamondbacks top 5 in cashing unders, and they cashed the most unders at home. They're at home versus the Diamondbacks. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to just roll with the numbers, and that's what we're going to do tonight.
That's right. Roll here with the Diamondbacks. Astros under 8.5. This one have a start time here of 8 Eastern time. All right, Tony Brown, let's go over at Pickdog Spring, where you've been on absolute fire here over the past 30 days. 1,280 units of profit, all documented. So if you go over to Pickdogs, go down to Pick History, you can check out all of Tony Brown's plays there, and of course they're documented, so you can take a look at Pick History with all the documentation. So, all right, 14 games on the board here. We got a game starting here in 15 minutes. One already off the board now, so 14 games on this Major League Baseball slate. What do you have going on over at Pickdogs?
Yeah, it's a big night for baseball. We don't have any football, whether college or pro. It's all MLB on the board, so we all over it. We have 4 big plays tonight. I got my MLB Tuesday triple play. You can get all 3 of those plays individually, or you can buy them together for only $35. And then I got my Tuesday special. It's only $15. Generate some new business, get some new players out there who want to give it a try. It's only $15 for the pick, but it's 10-star rated like everyone else, and you can grab that as well.
That's right, guys. Thank you for Tony Brown over at Pickdog. Premium season number is 1,280 units of profit the last 30 days. They've been doing great work there over at Pickdog. So get on board. His MLB Tuesday special is on the board right now. A single play from Major League Baseball, $15. Of course, credit guarantee on these individual plays and these one-day passes. That means that it must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credited back in your account. That's what credit guarantee means. That's up on the board right now. Of course, with Tony Brown, the way he's running, you may consider the longer-term passes. Tony has a 3, 7, or 30-day all sports pass. You get all of his premium plays for that period of time you select. When you go to his handicapper page and you make that purchase, there is a promo code out there, WIN15, will save 15% off. And speaking of that 15% off, Tony Brown, I know you have a really good value up there with that VIP All Sports Pass. As a matter of fact, it's a huge savings when you use these promo codes. You want to consider making a large purchase, because it's a significant discount when you do that, of almost about $195 off your VIP All Sports Pass, Tony Brown, when they use that promo code WIN15. But for that everyday better the grinder, you're out there in Vegas grinding those numbers, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, in the past, literally, just the numbers speak for itself. In the last 30 days, we're up 1,280 units. The pass paid for itself. So now your pass is paid for, and you have 11 months of free picks. You know what I mean? Like, if you're serious about making money, you can't afford not to get that pass. You get every single pick I release from every sport, playoffs, the championship picks included, for just one low price. Like I said, the last 30 days, that pass would have paid for itself, and now the rest of the year is yours free. You just collect the money from your bookie week in and week out.
That's right, guys. Get on board with Tony Brown over at Pickdog. Bring that 1-year all sports pass. If you're a sharp, big, huge monster whale, you might want to consider Tony Brown in your spreadsheets as he put together a consensus of the cappers. He's somebody you definitely want to consider because he's in it year-round, good performances, all the sports. He does cover the NHL. So get on board here with Tony Brown over at Pickdog. I know for a fact that a lot of sharps, I know a lot of them come buy these passes from a lot of the top cappers, and they put together a consensus, Tony Brown, because they like to compare their picks with everybody else's.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this isn't just betting on your favorite team or where you went to school or college or whatever. There's a lot of math that goes into this because there's a lot of money that likes to be made and things of that nature. So sure, if you're just a weekend warrior and you just want to get a play here or there, then this may be not for you. But if you're serious about making money sports betting, this is the only pass you should get.
That's right, indeed. Of course, Tony Brown over at Pickdogs. Get on board with great results over the last 30 days. All right, Tony, keep up our great work, and we'll talk with you again in a couple days.
All right, I appreciate you guys having me, and I'll see you on Thursday.
You got it. Tony Brown here on the drive. So guys, got a lot of guys signing up in the show. If you miss any of our picks, we will do a complete recap at the end of the show, so make sure you stay tuned. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It's time to welcome in Ninos to the show. You'll find him over at Pickdog's Premium. Oop, let me get to the right screen here. You'll find him over at Pickdog's Premium, where he does great work up there. So let's bring him in right now. We're going to get you coverage on this Mets and Marlins game right now. So we'll bring him in right now. Interesting details here with Lopez against the Mets. Let's bring him in right now. What's happening?
Yeah, just going good here. How are you?
Doing great. All right, here we go. Stay safe over there out in Florida. We know what's coming your way. We have a 7 Eastern time. We have the Mets here to host the Marlins. The Mets 210, total of 7.
Yeah, last forecast I checked was headed a little south of me. At least the eye of the storm was. Yeah, it was looking like it was a direct hit earlier, but yeah, looking a little safer now. So thanks for the concern there, but should be okay, Tony. Yeah, over back to baseball though. Yeah, interesting matchup here with these starters. We got Carlos Carrasco getting the start for the Mets, and he gave up 3 runs in his first start against the Marlins, but improved with each start against them throughout the season. Gave up just 2 in his second one, and then just the 1 run through 6 innings in his last start against the Marlins. So, we might even, the way this Marlins offense has been looking, we might even see a better start, and maybe he shuts them out at least early through this game. And on the other side, you got Pablo Lopez, who had a great start to his season, but has fallen off a bit lately. He's been good in his last couple of starts, but again, I think a big part of his second half fall off, if you will, was the Mets. He struggled in each start against them this season, giving up 8 runs through just 3 2/3 in his last start against them. It was 6 runs in 2 2/3 in the start before that against them, and I think the Mets, they clinched, but they've still been playing well. You still got their starters in the lineup, and yeah, I think they come out and get to Pablo Lopez again. So taking the Mets here. We're looking at the run line here. They're huge favorites on the money line, but you know me, especially with these home teams, I gotta put a little something on the money line as well to cover that hook, because can never be too safe with these home teams.
That's right. We got he likes that -1, but here for the show here, -1.5 here. You get in this one here, Mets run line against the Marlins. Of course, Manley gone from that situation after 7 years. I thought after 2 years, you probably should have known what to do. But anyway, that's how it rolls there. So yeah, we're looking here at the Mets. Of course, we know they're in a fight here against Atlanta. And I've mentioned before, if you look at the postseason schedule, there isn't a whole lot of time off between these games. So it's very important that these teams that avoid the wild card will be at a tremendous advantage because they're trying to condense these playoffs. Remember, we had a lockout to start the season, right? So they're trying to get these things out. We're going into November with the World Series. I think if there's a Game 7, we're looking at November 6th or November 7th. So they want to get these games done, over with in the postseason. So there isn't a lot of time out. You're going to see a lot of three, obviously a lot of four starters in some of these important roles here. So it's important that the Mets get the job done and win the division, and that's why the motivation's so high now, because they did put out the postseason schedule a couple of days ago, and I looked at it and said, where's the days off? No, there's even a situation in many of these series, if you get to a Game 7 where there's no day off in between on the travel, there's no travel day. You just go from 6 to 7, make the travel, and you play. So again, these teams got to get the job done and try to avoid that wild card round. But anyway, the stat I wanted to bring up to you here, El Ninos, is Lopez has just been pounded by the Mets this season. If you looked at Lopez against New York over 60, he's pitched about 16 to 30 innings, and he's given up 21 earned runs.
Yeah, it's been a rough outing when he meets them, and don't think he'll feel too confident. I mean, as I said, he's got a couple good starts, coming into this game, but still facing a tough lineup here, and as you said, they've been hitting him all season long, and I don't see why it changes tonight. So they've clinched already, but they still play and they're still motivated, and yeah, as far as the travel goes and the days off. Good thing it's still baseball, they're not running marathons every day, but still, you still got to get up and stand out there in the sun for hours every day. So, it's not exactly sitting around all day either. But again, I think these better teams, again, I think it might just play to the advantage of these better, more athletic teams that are in better shape. But again, it is still just baseball. So we'll see how it plays out. And, I'm always up for more action, so give me all the baseball I can get.
All this baseball you can get, exactly. Ninos likes the soccer. So what do you guys complain about? You're not like the soccer guys that run the field for 90-plus minutes and play 3 games a week. So anyway, we got Ninos here on the Mets run line, -1.5 runs here, plus 105 against the Marlins. This one will have a start time of 7 Eastern time. All right. Even Dwayne Wade agrees. He said soccer players are the best athletes in the world. When someone asked him about that, he thought he was joking. It wasn't even close. All right, let's take a look over at Pickdog Pin for tonight. As we said, 14 games here on the board here for Major League Baseball. We do have a game here starting in about 5 minutes from now in baseball. So what do you have going on over at the site?
I have a 3-pack of my 3 best bets in the MLB, and so check that out. I got 4 plays altogether, though, if you're on the long-term passes or getting one of those 2-for-1 capper specials, so make sure you check those out.
That's right, guys. Got bored with El Ninos over at Pickdog. Been showing good profit here the last 7 days. Come off a great day yesterday. El Ninos does have a 3-pack. He calls it his Tuesday triple on the board right now. Credit guarantee, which means it must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credited back into your account. That's what credit guarantee means. So you get on board here with El Ninos right now with that 3-pack on the board from Major League Baseball. Also sells them individually. He's always a day ahead here with the Thursday night thriller. So he's already in play here with that Thursday night NFL game. You look like Dolphins and the Bengals. So get on board there. Of course, that play is credit guarantee. Must turn a profit or the amount you purchase is credited back in your account. That's what credit guarantee means. Of course, the long-term passes L offers, you can get with a 7-day pass here from L. Get all of L's premium plays for 7 days. Of course, that would include football here for Thursday, Sunday, and Monday, as well as his college football here for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and all the baseball for 7 days, right? We got regular season doesn't end until a week from tomorrow. So still 8 days of baseball left in the regular season. So that's part of that. The 7-day pass will get you all the coverage there from Major League Baseball. You can use the promo code WIN15 at checkout. You'll save 15% off. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion. Even greater value there. All right, Al, as always, great having you show. Keep up that great work, and we'll talk with you again tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Tony. Have a good one.
You got El Ninos here on the drive. Guys, again, if you missed our picks, we will do a complete recap at the end of the show, so stay tuned for that as we get more and more people signing in right now. Let's continue on here on the drive-thru. It's time to welcome in Shane Mickle. You'll find him over at Pickdogs. He's been on absolute fire. And usually I wait till the end to show you this, but look at this. Look at these numbers up here. They've been pretty impressive here from Shane Mickle. Shane, what's happening?
How's it going tonight, Tony?
It's going great. All right, here we go. 7 Eastern time, top of the hour. Nationals here facing the Braves. The Braves -210, total 8.5.
Yeah, these two teams faced off last night, and the total was I think it was 8.5 last night, and the game ended 8-0 for the Braves. I think that the Braves continue to run up the score here, but I also think they get a little bit of a help from the Nationals here in this game for this total. On the mound for the Nationals is Paul Espino, who's coming off his last start against the Nationals, where he went 4 innings, giving up 4 hits and 2 runs. I think he gives up a few more runs than that in this game. But the other concern I have with him is before that game, there's 3 straight starts or 3 straight appearances where you only win an inning. They're clearly not stretching him out, and there's nothing impressive about this Nationals bullpen. In terms of ERA, they're ranked in the middle of the league, but their WHIP is one of the worst in baseball, so it doesn't really correlate with how many runs they're giving up. I think that that WHIP continues to rise here against the Braves, and the Braves are going to take advantage and run up the score. And then on the mound for the Braves is Kyle Mueller, who's only making a second career start. His first start was awful. His second start was a little better, giving up only 3 runs. But I think in this game, as long as he gives up those 3 or 4 runs, this game's going to go cruise over the total with how many the Braves are going to score. I'm going to take this game over the 8.5.
All right, got Shane here going Braves Nationals over 8.5. Yeah, I watched that game yesterday because of an early start, and there was just nothing in that stadium. I mean, you could just tell from the body language that the Nationals just didn't have anything. I mean, the Braves were definitely the hungrier team, no doubt. They're on the field.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, there's mostly Braves. I mean, the fans that were there were mostly Braves fans in the stands for probably free tickets from the Nationals because there was. It felt kind of like we were playing in the COVID games again, where the only people cheering were the stadium employees and some stadium security guards. That's how quiet it was in that game. It was it was a fun game for Braves fans, but overall in terms of atmosphere, it was pretty bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Tough for the players to go up there and experience that. But again, here we go over here, Braves and the Nationals. This one to have a start time of 7 Eastern time. All right, Shane, let's take a look over at Pickdog. We flashed that up earlier. I've been on fire here. Top of the leaderboards here for the last 30 days. 2,148 units of profit the last 30 days. That is all documented over at Pickdogs. Also showing great profit the last 7 days, coming off a big winning day yesterday. Shane, also a great start to the NFL season as well. Doing great work there. All right, Shane, so here we go. We still have, we're going to get we got a minute away from the start time here, so we're going to have about 13 games here in a minute left to go up on the board from Major League Baseball. What do you have going over at Pickdogs Premium?
Yeah, I know this time of year everyone's already rushing to count out baseball. And NFL and college football are in everyone's mind. But over the last 30 days, I've hit 67% of my baseball plays. So the baseball has definitely been carrying me the last month. And today is only strictly baseball. I have my 3-pack up there. My 3 best baseball plays of the day, $39.99. I do have 5 total plays tonight, but only 3 of them are in a package. So if you hop on the long-term pass, you will get those extra 2 plays. But there's no better time to hop on that long-term pass. If you hop on the 7-day pass now, you get all through next Monday Night Football. You get the entire weekend of college football with Hurricanes. With the Hurricane, I've already seen some of those college football games move to Sunday. So there'll probably be a few more college football plays than they usually would do with Sunday games on the board too. So hop on that long-term pass and let's make some money together.
That's right, guys. I can't borrow Shane Mickle over at Pickdogs Premium, showing great results over the last 30 days. 2,148 units of profit. That is all documented. You can verify that by going to Shane's Handicapper page, go down to Pick History, and you can see the plays there. They're documented over at Pickdogs. So get on board here with Shane. He does have a Tuesday night MLB 3-pack on the board. Credit guarantee must turn a profit, or the amount you purchase is credited back into your account for site credits. That's what credit guarantee means right now. So that 3-pack up there right now. Get on board here with Shane. And the way Shane's running, you may consider just a 1-month all sports pass here from Shane. Get all of his premium plays here for a month. Includes all his baseball. We got just a little bit more than a week left in the regular season. It'll get you the first 3 rounds of the baseball playoffs when you get that 1-month all sports pass, as well as all his football, all his college football, the start of the NHL season, which is 2 weeks away, and the start of the NBA season, about 10 days worth of NBA as we get started here October 18th with the NBA. So a lot of great value there with that 1-month all sports pass. You can use the promo code WIN15 at checkout, and we'll knock out 15% off at checkout. You can also add a second capper with that 2-for-1 capper promotion, even greater value there. All right, Shane, as always, great having you on the show. Continue that success. And any news here with UFC as we get back into UFC next week? And I know you do some coverage there at Sports Chat.
That's actually a perfect segment. You didn't know I wanted to talk about this. But there is a Dana White Contender Series tonight, which if you're not watching, it's the last one of the year. You know, guys like Sugar Sean O'Malley have come out of this series. So the next big star, I think, that come out of the UFC is actually competing tonight. Bo Nickle, he's a former Penn State wrestler, All-American champion. I think he's going to be the next big UFC star, so make sure to tune in to that on ESPN+. But I do have a quick play out of that event. Bo Nickle to finish by submission in the first round. That's like plus 170. That's great value for a guy who's sitting right now around minus 3,000 to win the fight. So throw a little bit of money on that, and hopefully he gets done with that early. But yeah, UFC has been off for a week. It's been kind of weird, and it gets back into full swing this weekend. So yeah, make sure to check out. I have all the write-ups on Pickdogs plus premium picks on the site. So another good reason to hop on that week pass. There should be at least a play out for this UFC event.
That's right, guys. So get on board with Shane Mickle. Follow his coverage on UFC over at Pickdog's Sports Chat Place as well. So get on board. All right, Shane, continue that success. We'll talk with you again in a couple days.
Sounds good. Have a good night, Tony.
You got it. Shane Mickle here on the drive-thru. All right, guys, seen a lot of people signing in. If you miss any of our picks, we'll get a complete recap here at the end of the show. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's continue on here on the drive-thru. Now it's time for my pick. So let me get to my play here. We're going to go to Major League Baseball with this one. So we'll get the card up for you right now. We got the Twins here hosting the White Sox. White Sox minus 125. Total sits here at 6.5. I'm going to go here with the White Sox in this one. Really based on the strength of Lance Lynn. Lance Lynn has really got it together here. If you looked at him over the past, since that rough start, remember he had a late start to the season. It is not a contract year. He is signed through next year, and the following year is he'll get his full $18 million next year, and in 2024 it is a club option, so they can either buy him out for $1 million or pay him $18 million for the 2024 season. So he will be guaranteed his $18 million next season. So this is not a contract season here for Lance Lynn, but from what I see from Lance, he's a competitor out there. He doesn't like losing, and I there are certain guys that you keep an eye on. Of course, Lynn in this one, we saw the some of these, both teams really kind of have struggled down the stretch. But this one thing here with the Twins is they're just 15-30 against an AL pitcher with a whip of 120 or better. And that's really what I'm seeing here is the fact that you got a quality arm here for the White Sox against this Twin lineup who have not performed well against a good pitching. The Twins have lost 8 of 10. Remember, they dropped 2 of 3 at home to the Angels. And of course, both teams have been eliminated really with disappointing play down the stretch. But again, this is the strength for me of Lynn over Ober in this one. And then, of course, the White Sox are losing 6 straight at home to get eliminated from the postseason. So we know that's the case. And for both teams, it's been ugly. But I'm just going to factor in the fact that I'm going to back Lynn and the fact that the Twins have hit good pitching so poorly this season. So we'll go White Sox minus 125 here against the Twins. This one will have a start time here of 7:40 Eastern time. All right, guys. So over at Pick Dogs, I got my $15 premium pick right now for Major League Baseball. I am the number 3 unit producer over at Pick Dogs for this year, documented in baseball. Hit my $15 premium last night. So get on board here with me over at Pick Dogs Premium. Get that $15 premium right now. Remember, you could use the promo code WIN15 at checkout to save 15% off. Also, I have the longer-term passes, my 3, 7, and 30-day all sports pass. You get all my premium plays for that period of time you select. You go over to my Handicapper page and make that purchase. So get signed up and use promo code here to save some money. All right, let's continue on here with the show. It is now time for the recap. Let's get on to it. All right, we started with Alex Smart. Alex liked the Orioles plus 105 against the Red Sox. Tony Brown was Diamondbacks, Astros under 8.5. El Ninos, the Mets, the run line, minus 1.5 runs, plus 105 against the Marlins. Shane was on the Braves, Nationals over 8.5. I'm on the White Sox, minus 125 against the Twins. The one I like the most, let's see here. Yeah, I like the Orioles, but I'm just a little afraid of walking. That's why I gave you the reasons why with Alex Smart. I'll go with the Mets run line here. The one I like the most is just the Mets have just absolutely hammered. I mean, just hammered Lopez. And actually, I want to bring up a comment here from Rika Patel. He made some really good comments about this game here. The way the Mets have been playing. Let's see if we can get it up here. Well, if you guys are in the chat room, you probably have seen it. Pretty much the Mets, they really need the division to avoid the Dodgers, I guess, into the NLCS. So I guess the way it plays out, that's how he feels about this game. I was going to share some of your comments here. We have a little bit of time here. Let's see. Let me put up the YouTube for you. Yeah, it goes. Patel, the Mets need the division to avoid the Dodgers. Let's be real. See them in the NLCS. Go Mets. All right, so he likes the Mets as well. As a matter of fact, he did make other comments here about this game. Mets are playing for the division. Braves on their behind. Got to stay hungry. Yep, Mets got to stay hungry. You want to avoid it. And I think our man Matt D was chiming in as well. He said he parlayed the Mets and Braves money line. So he took the 2 contenders and made a money line parlay out of the 2 contenders. Can't argue that strategy. That looks to be pretty good. We've got some conversation also in the chat room. It looks like the Green Bay looks to be a popular Survivor pick versus the Pats with a backup pick. So if you're in any of those Survivor contests, looks like people are on Green Bay, as it does looks like they will be in with a backup. If there's any hockey picks, hockey. Well, Rod Zawacky hit the big underdog with us yesterday, right? He was on the Underdog Blues, and he wasn't on today. So Unfortunately, we didn't get any hockey for you today, but maybe check out the morning show because Rod is a contributor to the morning show, so maybe you can get some information there about NHL hockey. And Chris is also a puck dog, so maybe he may chime in with some. Go back and watch the replay from the morning show because we know a lot of people are hyped here about hockey. Hockey's on the TV for me too. I'm watching some of the games today on the NHL Network. They just show all the replays. A lot of preseason on TV, so they just replay the games throughout the day, which is cool. So check it out right there. All right, we think Matt D came in with his parlay as well. What does he like? He likes the Nerfy here. Dodgers, Padres, Rockies, Giants, and Rangers, Seattle. So that's his Nerfy up there. So we're getting a lot of good contributions here from the chat room. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us today on the drive-thru. That'll do it for tonight's show, guys. Be sure to tune in again tomorrow live at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. 6 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll do it all over again. We'll bring in our cappers there from Pickdogs and Sports Chat Play. So it'll be a Wednesday. So we'll get Mitch. So we'll get our Mitch on the show. I know our Big Al is usually here. Chris will be with us as well. So we'll have a good show here for you on Wednesday. So guys, make sure you tune in, like, and subscribe, and set notifications. So when we're live, we want you guys to be live with us. So you get our picks, because a lot of these picks start within minutes, right, when the top of the hour. And of course, you want to get sure you get the best numbers if you are betting the plays. Also, remember, as we said, if we get it started here at every day here at 10 a.m. Eastern Time with the morning show, you got Mitch, Chris, and Rod Zawacky. And of course, we've got the video series on Pick Dogs with the Mitch's 7 picks in 5 minutes. We got Ron Romanelli's rundown from Major League Baseball. We got Javon's parlay of the day. Mills and Brad come back again Saturday with their UFC show as we have UFC this weekend. And of course, you want to make sure you tune in for that. Of course, the NFL show on Wednesdays with Mitch, Jay, as well as Big Al McMorty. And then we do the college football show here with Romanelli. We've got Mitch and we have Chris on Thursday. So a lot of live shows here on Pick Dogs. And you guys want to make sure you subscribe and set notifications. So when they're live with you. Don't forget all the great halftime shows with Mitch and Jay throughout the NFL season. So guys, tune in. All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Let's go ahead and bring in our crew for today. We're going to go ahead and wait goodbye to you guys. You guys have a great evening. We'll talk to you guys